Welcome to the Friday morning warm up number 94. And today's scale of choice is the G blues scale, which we will be playing later on. And we will also be looking at the dominant seventh chords that feature in a G blues. That will be, so we're talking about the concert pitch here, of course. So B flat and E flat people, please translate in your heads. But so the dominant seventh arpeggios will be G7, C7, and D7. Okay, we'll come to that in a second. We're just going to start off with our usual little warm up where you can either clap along or stomp your feet or just carry on drinking your coffee if you want, but don't do the two at the same time. So, okay. We've got a another Cascara pattern here. I do these quite often, not just because it's important to know how somebody bangs the side of a drum in a certain two-bar pattern. It's because they do turn up in other music as well, and you find yourselves playing Cascara patterns even though you might not realise it. Strumming patterns are often Cascara based. And also there are melodies as well. If you were to apply notes, just I'll give you one quick example. If you think of two chords, say F and C7, I'm not going to do it in front of you now, but if you sort of try this at home and play F over the first bar and C over the second bar, C7, and play them in that pattern, the Cascara pattern, any of the ones we've done, you'll probably recognise the sort of rhythmic sound that you get as a familiar strumming pattern. Another thing you can do is actually arpeggiate them, and if you play an arpeggio from F major over the first bar using that rhythm, so da 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 da, and then over the C7 over the C7 over the second bar, you'll find yourself playing something like bum ba bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum, and that's what's called a montuno, where the rhythm, usually the piano or the guitar, play a pattern which is based on a cascara. So that's how montunos come about. So there's another little thing about cascaras. Okay, let's clap that first one. Oh, I haven't switched my metronome on. Here we go. We're going to just clap the top one and we'll do the next one next week. So here we go with the top one after four. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. Bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum 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 bum. Yeah, you see, in my bad sort of way, humming way, I was playing a little tune which sounded kind of familiar, didn't it? And simply because I followed that rhythm of that Cascara pattern. So you can make up your own little tunes using that rhythmic pattern. Okay, let's move on to our instruments. If you'd like to grab your instrument, just going to take my headphones off. And put them back on again. And so G is the concert G is the root note of the scale. So we're just going to do a little bit, 1 minute of warming up our instruments on G. You all know what to do. So here we go. there's your minute. Okay, let's do a little bit of a chromatic scale. And so at the moment we're just doing the usual up the octave from concert G up to the G and down again at that speed. Are you ready? After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down again. And again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's speed it up significantly. That speed? Okay. After 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. As always, trying a different part of the instrument if it's nice and straightforward, and if you are trying to tax yourself. If you're just trying to warm up, then stay where you are. But if you do want to see how you get on in the dusty end of the guitar, for example, or the squeaky end of the clarinet, a little bit faster. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One other thing you can do is actually start on a third above. Start on the B if you want to really see what it sounds like, and you'll always stay a major third above Mi if you go from concert B up to concert B and down again, and you'll find yourself doing a little sort of harmony as well. So one more, nice and fast this time. 180. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting to sound like a swinging bass line. Good. Okay, that's the chromatic scale. Should have got our fingers and lungs a little bit more warmed up and ready to do the next bit, which is the exercise sheet. So if you'd like to get your sheet in front of you for your particular key, and still a little bit problematic with these, the fact that the G blues scale is a minor sounding scale, but it tends to be played in major blues situations, and so you then end up getting well, on the concert version I've shown G major as the key signature, so 1 sharp, but of course as soon as you put the blues scale on there, the hexatonic blues scale, it's got a flat and a sharp and a natural in it. So in order to cope with the fact that it's got a flattened 7th but also a minor 3rd. So we're just going to play that first bar of the blues scale. Just play it straight and not swinging. You can swing it, of course, it would just be slightly out of kilter with what I'm playing, but just play it straight for now. First bar, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Tony did ask about the pentatonic scale. I guess he's referring to the minor pentatonic scale in particular, which this is very similar to. So if you took out the the flattened fifth or the sharpened fourth, which is in the concert key, the C sharp, the one on the fourth fret of the A string, that will then give you the minor pentatonic scale. So that little note in the middle of the third and fifth frets, which gives it that little chromatic section in the middle of the scale, that little chromatic note is the one which makes it the blues scale. So, but without it, you'd have the pentatonic 5-note minor pentatonic scale. Right, let's do that one. Sorry, no, we're on to the second bar. So this time it's just the descending blues scale. Second bar, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Let's play the two together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's play the two together again. And 1, 2, 3, 4. La 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 la. One more time. 2, 3, 4. La 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 la. Good way to practice a scale and to get into your head is actually just to play the root note, then sing it la 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 fairly badly, and then play it. And then play it and sing it at the same time. I know you can't do that if you're blowing an instrument, but just do the singing bit separately if you're not. And just that's one way of internalising a scale, is if you can sing it, even if it's bad to start with, it will get better. So do try singing your scale. Just give yourself the root note to start with, and then take it from there. And then once you've sung it, play it. Okay, on to the third line. Now, I do apologise to guitarists who are following the tab that the fingering on this is a bit random for the next 3 bars. They're not following any particular pattern. So if you know a particular pattern for your 7th arpeggios, do that. You can follow the ones on the screen, but they're kind of, the fingers are going all over the place. It's one of the things about a guitar, is you can play one note in so many different places. You end up with different arpeggiated shapes. But the pattern on the first one, oh, even that one's not quite right, is it? That should be a 5th fret on the last note. But anyway, I'll leave that with you to deal with. Let's do that first arpeggio. So we're now talking about a G blues, a typical G blues chord sequence, which would have a G7, a C7, and a D7. So the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord. So for A, if you're an A for B flat players, that will be A7, D7, and E7. And for the alto players, that will be E7, A7, and B7. So they're your 3 arpeggios. So that's what we're going to do now. We're just going to play those 3 arpeggios, as shown on your sheets, of course. So these are actually going to be playing the chord tones of the chords which would typically appear in a simple blues in G. Not a jazz blues, just a straightforward blues. Here we go. So we're on the third bar. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And just to reiterate, we're going the root, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, flattened 7th, notice, and back to the octave, up to the octave root. Let's do that again. So third bar, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time, 2, 3, 4. Do da do da do. Okay, and the next one will sound very similar, except it will be a 4th higher because it's concert C7. So let's play the 4th bar. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the next one is the 5 chord. And these reflect the fact that in any major key there are only 3 major chords, except that we've made them all sevenths. So the 1, the 4 and the 5 are the 3 major chords in any key. So we're now onto the 5 chord, the dominant 7th. This is the one which resolves in a perfect cadence back to the tonic. So the most common chord change in music is from the 5 chord to the 1 chord. So let's do that last bar. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time, 2, 3, 4. Another good one to practice singing. Okie dokie, so let's put those 3 7th chords into our usual 8-bar chord sequence, arpeggiated pattern exercise, whatever you like to call it. And as I've said, but in case you weren't here before, it's up the 1 arpeggio, then the next bar is down the 1 arpeggio, then it's up the 4 arpeggio, down the 4 arpeggio, then it's back to the 1 arpeggio and down, and then the final 2 bars are up the 5 arpeggio and down the 5. So it's a 1, 4, 1, 5, which is the basis of the blues. Let's play those 8 bars. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then finish on the tonic, which is not shown, just to resolve it. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, misfingering there. I was just looking at the tab thinking, again, apologies to guitarists, the tab is, I'll pay a bit more attention to the tab next time and get that tidied up. One more time through those 8 bars. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There, yes. Some people think tab's cheating. It's not cheating. It's actually how guitar music was written before they applied the usual notation to it back in the early centuries, and it's quite normal. And one of the main reasons is because fingering can vary so much. You wouldn't see classical music written out in tab unless somebody had done it for themselves, but nevertheless it's a perfectly valid way of showing guitar music and ukulele music as well. So don't think you're cheating by reading the tab. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's move on to the these blues phrases. So it's the same phrases as in previous weeks, we're just of course in a different key. And that first one is, as I've said every week, the bass is the riff from Sunshine of Your Love by the band Cream, written by Jack Bruce, and he wrote this on his bass, double bass, and it's also a Cascara rhythm, because if I was to clap that, da 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 dum dum Yeah, so just yet another Casco rhythm, yet another example of how it finds its way into all kinds of music. So let's play that as first two bars. So this is Sunshine of Your Love riff in the key of G. Concert G. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's loop it. After all, it is a riff. 2, 3, 4. One more time. Good. Ooh, metronome, stop. Yes, we're on to the second pattern now. And Chris pointed out last week, very observantly, that this is very similar to the opening phrase, or the phrase that's used throughout, take 5. And I thought, yeah, he's right, you know, it does sound familiar. And there is an extra note put on the beginning, a fourth lower, sorry, that starts actually on that rest, so the quaver just below. But so whereas this goes, actually that's too low because I can't go a fifth lower. So that's what we've got on the screen in front of us. But if I went 1, 2, 3. Oops. You've got, I don't know if you recognised that, but that was the opening phrase of Take 5, Dave Brubeck. Paul Desmond actually wrote it, the sax player. So there's another example of the blues scale there, which is what Take 5 is actually based on. So, and that actually, the good point here is, I think, that when you come to learn something, especially something that's quite tricky, like like Take 5, if you just learned it as a sequence of notes and just sort of learned the tune, that's one thing. But if you actually knew that was just the opening 5 notes of the blues scale, then you've got that big nugget of information to help you through it and know you're playing it correctly. And if you've practiced the blues scale quite a bit, of course, those notes will fall under the fingers. So, yeah, a reason for learning the blues scale, if you want to learn Take 5. Let's play that second pair of bars. Don't play Take 5, play what's on the screen. After 3, 1, 2, 3. I've got Take 5 in my head now. No, it wasn't. I played that wrong. Sorry. After 3, let's do that again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's it. And again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm swinging it. I should be playing it straight, but I'm sure you're playing it correctly. Let's loop that, and I'll play it straight this time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Last time 3. Okay, so we've got Sunshine of Your Love and Cream. I don't know about this next one. I'm sure it's from somewhere. I did say they're all sort of fairly cliched sounding blues phrases. Okay, we're on the bottom line now. First two bars, we'll play that phrase, and then if anyone can recognise it from anywhere, let me know. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's loop that now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Last time. 1, 2, 3. Da, 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 da. Okay, and on to the last two bars. Da, 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 da. Again, the tab gone a little bit askew there. I think that 1 on the tab for guitarists and I'm not sure about ukulele players. I've got the guitar in front of me. That 1 should be a 6 on the bottom string, so be a bit easier to play. Bass players as well. Okay, let's play those last two bars. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Now let's loop it. Let's loop it. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. Last time. That's going to become one of those catchphrases, isn't it? Last time. Okay, let's play those 8 bars straight through. I know that's not particularly a musical thing to do, but it's a good way to just play those licks and get them under your fingers. So last 8 bars all the way through. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Yes. Let's do that again one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and if you do play the blues or jazz blues as well, these kind of licks work over any of the chords in a blues in concert G. The whole thing about the blues scale is it does work over the whole chord progression. You don't just have to wait till you hit a G7 chord. So one of the nice things about playing blues scale. Righty ho, we're going to finish of course with just a little bit of strumming, just for a minute or so, so Dave can play his harmonica. And you can always record yourself, Dave, on your phone and send it across. I won't broadcast it. That's entirely optional. Okay, so I'm just going to strum this basic sort of blues in G, and you can try some of those blues licks, or just play arpeggios, or improvise, perhaps using the blues scale, or do a walking bass line if you like, if you're on the bass. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time, here we go. There we have it, blues in G. And of course, we'll be back next week with looking at the Circle of Fifths. It will be C7, concert C7, C blues, C jam blues, Duke Ellington. And so we'll be doing that next week. Don't forget DWJQ, our band, are playing at the Leather Bottle in Pleshy on Wednesday. Hope some of you can be there. That would be nice. And 8 o'clock we start playing. Other than that, unmute yourselves if you like and say goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Have a great weekend.
Phrase.
See you, right?
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, Chris.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
See you
Thanks,
Bye,
David.
everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bye, Emma. Yeah.
Bye.
soon.
See you then.
Bye.
Back to see you driving past in a big lorry next.